2019 Town Board meeting. Please rise for a pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Michael Safone, 4th Ward.
Matthew Wolliver, 5th Ward.
Ann Shershon, 6th Ward.
Alicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
John Beasley, Town Supervisor. Welcome, everybody. Tonight's agenda, we have 6 public hearings in the very beginning. And then after that, we have an appointment of a police assistant, Alitalia Anderson. Number 8, accept the resignation of Jeff Neville from the Highway Department. Number 9, the lead agency for Stewart's Shop on 2245 South Road. Number 10, a 30-day liquor license, Residence Inn. 11, Cider Mill Friends Annual Old-Fashioned Cider Tasting Event, waiving of the fees. 12, the said day for public hearing and property maintenance for 8 Irving Avenue. 13, same thing for 615 Van Wagner Avenue. 14, same thing for 172 North Grand Avenue. 15, unsafe builder, Chapter 71, 18 Dorland Avenue. 16, unsafe buildings, Chapter 71, 245 Wilbur Boulevard. 17, unsafe buildings, Chapter 71, 45 Park Place. And these are all to set dates for public hearing. Number 18, Town Clerk to advertise for bids for sanitary sewer pipe CIPP spot repairs. 19 is authorize the Holy Trinity Fall Festival. And 20, following claim has been referred to legal for Dorshenko versus Griffith versus the town. With all that said, I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing number 1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is public hearing number 1 is in Kingwood Park. It's basically cleanup of a intersection. The language was incorrect for years. So, if anybody would like to comment on public hearing number 1? Going once, going twice. If not, I'm going to make a motion to close public hearing number 1.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Renahan.
I'm getting lost there. What do you got, Kingwood?
Want me to take it?
You have public hearing 1?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, this one there, yeah. Being enacted that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to a public hearing held on the 4th day of September 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby amend Town Code, Chapter 195, entitled Vehicle and Traffic, specifically 195-44, Schedule 9, Stop Intersections, with the language to be added, underlined, and the language to be deleted, stricken as follow. Deleted from 195-44, Schedule 9, Stop Intersection, stop sign on Kingwood Drive west to Hoffman Road. That's going to be deleted. And to add, stop sign on Kingwood Drive, direction of travel west at intersection Kingwood Park. And be it further enacted that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on August 16, 2019, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on August 21st, 2019. Be it further enacted that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does determine that this action is a Type 2 action requiring no environmental review, and be it further enacted that said local law shall become effective immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
Your motion second. Any questions?
No questions, but I did find Hoffman Road, and it is in the city of Poughkeepsie.
Oh,
So
there's one. Oh,
there is a Hoffman Road, but it's, for some reason, it's in the city.
not on Kingwood Park.
Definitely not in Kingwood.
No, it's not there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0. We're on to public hearing number 2, which is on property maintenance for 34 Brooklyn Farms Road. Make a motion to open public hearing number 2.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss public hearing number 2, 34 Brooklyn Farms Road? Going once? Going twice? Now, make a motion to close public hearing number 2.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on September 4th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code, titled Property Maintenance, Mowing of Occupied Properties, does hereby determine that the property located at 34 Brooklyn Farms Road, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 6159-02-625689, owned by Jason Gant, is in violation of Town Code Chapter 159A, Property Maintenance, Mowing of Occupied Properties, 159A, Sub 4, and be it further resolved that the legal notice of a public hearing was posted on August 16, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on August 21, 2019, and mailed to the owner by certified mail return receipt requested on August 8, 2019. And be it further resolved that the said determination is based on the materials received at a public hearing from the Town of Poughkeepsie zoning administrator, and be it further resolved that said owner of 34 Brooklyn Farms Road has not complied with the order to remedy, and be it further resolved that the town hall shall, by its highway department or a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut to the grass to a height not to exceed 12 inches, and to continue maintenance thereafter if the premises continues not to be properly maintained, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Town Code 159A7. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. No. Public hearing number 3 is on 18 LaGrange Avenue, and it's a property maintenance public hearing. Make a motion to open public hearing 3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody here to discuss public hearing number 3, 16 LaGrange Avenue?
Is it 16 or 18?
16.
16.
So, I have a.
Come on up to the microphone. Please.
Is this working? Yeah.
Yep.
So I have a maintenance person.
Just
that-
state your name.
Oh, sorry, my name is Alan Benner. I am the owner of the property at 16 LaGrange. I'm a landlord. I rent it out to students from Vassar College. And I do have a person who mows the lawn there for me, but for this summer, it's been on an on-demand basis. And there was a week or two when we were behind, and it was high. I did get the letter, and I called him and had him do it, and I believe we've kept it in good shape since that time. I don't think it's in violation at the moment, at least in the grass part of the property. There is a section in the backyard against the back fence
Yeah.
that does have bushes and some fallen limbs back there, and perhaps that's what you're talking to. It's been that way since
Yeah.
I got the property.
Yeah, 'cause-
And if you want to get that to be grass back there, I have no objection to doing that.
Yeah,
We could
because
do
that was the complaint, it was the tall weeds in the backyard.
In the
Because I had
backyard,
been by, and your front yard does look fine, you trimmed up the bushes too and everything, the front yard looks very nice.
good,
Matter of
okay.
fact, it's one of the better ones on that street, but, yeah, that's why I was really
Thank you,
confused
appreciate
by
that.
all this,
Thank
but
you.
it's the backyard, and some neighbors complained that it's been tall weeds there for like 5 years, they claim.
True,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
okay. So you'd like to get it down to grass back there as well?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
grass clinic.
okay.
From the picture we have here, it's up against the fence, it's all high weeds in the back there.
Yeah, and there's logs there too. So the letter described having the town take care of that? How would that work?
We usually close the public hearing and see that you're going to address this issue. We have you reach out to the zoning board and we'll usually grant you a time frame to get it done. Now, you've personally been in front of us. Otherwise, usually in the morning, we call a landscaper, have them go out and do it, and then we end up putting it on your tax bill. But being you're here, we'll most likely close it anyway. It still gives us an enforcement. If you don't clean it, we can still go do it. But we'll let zoning know in the morning that you have all intentions of doing it. We'll go out in a week or so and check to see if you've cleaned it up.
Okay. How much would it cost for the landscaper to do it, to put it in the bill? I don't know, it might be cheaper than.
No, he lets us know when he goes out there and he looks at it. It's probably not cheaper.
Okay.
No.
All right.
It's,
You can probably bet it's not cheaper.
And if I could, just, if you have somebody that cuts the grass in the summer months, whether it rains or not, grass can grow very quickly in a short amount of time. It would probably be in your best interest to just have somebody cut that every 10 days
Yeah.
on a regular basis, and then the same person does your snow removal, I'm sure.
As Ann said, the rest of the property looks like it's in good
Yeah,
shape.
I'm just, I've got a lot of landlords that rent down near where I live, and they do the same thing. I have to keep calling them to cut the grass.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you live there, you're cutting your grass every week, most likely. So if it's a rental, I think it's reasonable.
This summer, I haven't done it at my house for
No?
6 weeks. It's been pretty hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very,
And it was, the backyard was mainly the problem with this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could you just leave the town clerk your phone number so the zoning administrator could reach out to you?
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
leave it with Felicia over there, and that way they can reach out to you in the morning, or you can call her also, make contact with Mary Jackson down in zoning,
Okay.
And then-
And when do I need to get that done by?
as soon as possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
She'd probably give you a week to 10 days to get it done, to at least get it cleaned up. Yeah, we're not expecting you to go home right now and do it, but
Right.
the fact that you came in good faith to come and discuss it, we take that with a
Good.
good thing.
Okay, so you'd like me to give my
Yeah,
phone number?
give your
to-
number to Felicia over there. Anybody else like to
Thank you.
discuss? Thank you.
Thank you.
16 LaGrange, if not, a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Michael?
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on September 4th, 2019, at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code entitled Property Maintenance, Mowing of Unoccupied Properties, is hereby determined that the property located at 16 LaGrange Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 616112840686, owned by Alan Frederick Benner, is in violation of Town Code 159A Property Maintenance, Mowing of Occupied Properties, 159A-4, and be it further resolved that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on August 16, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on August 21st, 2019, and mailed to the owner by certified mail, return receipt requested on August 8, 2019. And be it further resolved that said determination is based on the materials received at the public hearing from the Town of Poughkeepsie zoning administrator, and be it further resolved that said owner of 16 LaGrange Avenue has not complied with the order to remedy, and be it further resolved that the town shall, by its highway department or town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste and fallen tree limbs, shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 12 inches and continue maintenance thereafter if the premises continues not to be properly maintained, the cost of which will be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Town Code 159A-7. So moved.
Second?
Motion second, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0. We just passed it that in case it doesn't get done, we have the right to still go back out and do it. Thank you. On the public hearing number 4, 13 James Street, property maintenance, make a motion to open public hearing number 4.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss 13 James Street? Going once? If not, a motion to close this public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 4. Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on September 4th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code entitled Property Maintenance, does hereby determine that the property located at 13 James Street, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 6262-04-814491, owned by Kathleen Daly, is in violation of Town Code Chapter 159, Property Maintenance, Section 159-5A. And be it further resolved that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on August 16th, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on August 21st, 2019, and mailed to the owner by certified mail, return receipt requested on August 8th, 2019. And be it further resolved that said determination is based on materials received at a public hearing from the Town of Poughkeepsie's zoning administrator. Be it further resolved that said owner of 13 James Street has not complied with the order to remedy. And be it further resolved that the town shall, by its highway department or a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste and fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and continue maintenance thereafter if the premises continues not to be properly maintained, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Town Code Chapter 159-13. So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0. Public hearing number 5, 49 DeRocher Place, same thing, property maintenance. Make a motion to open that public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody to discuss 49 DeRocher Terrace? Make a motion to close public hearing number 5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on September 4th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code entitled Property Maintenance, does hereby determine that the property located at 49 Dosher Terrace, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 6262-03-322053, owned by Gone Properties Company, is in violation of Town Code Chapter 159, Property Maintenance 159-5A, and be further resolved that the legal notice of the public hearing was posted on August 16, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on August 21, 2019, and mailed to owner by certified mail return receipt request on August 9th, 2019, and be further noticed that said determination is based on materials received at a public hearing from the Town of Poughkeepsie zoning administrator, and be further resolved that said owner of 49 Dosher Terrace has not complied with the order to remedy, and be further resolved that the town shall, by its highway department or a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste and fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not exceeding 6 inches, and to continue maintenance thereafter if the premise continues not to be maintained properly, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Town Code 159-13. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any question on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0. That brings us to public hearing number 6. There's a water improvement area for bonding for ultraviolet at the joint water plant. I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing number 6.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss public hearing number 6? If not, make a motion to close public hearing number 6.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
The regular Town Board meeting of the Town of Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, held at Town Hall, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, in said town, 4th day, December 2019, 7 p.m. prevailing time. Whereas a map plan and report including an estimate of cost have been duly prepared in such manner and such detail, and has heretofore been determined by the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, New York, relating to water improvements to serve a benefited area in said town to be known as a Water Improvement Area 8, the area whose boundaries shall consist of the area specified in Appendix A, is attached hereto and hereby made part hereof. Said boundaries being the same as those existing of existing water improvement areas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, being the entire area of said town outside of any villages, is more fully shown upon a map on file in the office of the town clerk, which map is available for inspection by any person or persons interested in same during regular office hours at the office. And whereas the capital improvements proposed in connection with the establishment of the Water Improvement Area 8 of the Town of Poughkeepsie consist of the town's share of costs of replacing of existing ultraviolet disinfection units at the joint water treatment plant, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, appurtenances, and other incidental improvements and expenses at a maximum estimate cost of $2,233,950. Whereas said maximum estimate cost of $2,233,950 shall be authorized to be financed by the issuance by the Town of Poughkeepsie of its serial bonds with a maximum maturity not in excess of 40-year period prescribed by the local finance law. And whereas said map plan and report have been prepared by competent engineers duly licensed by the state of New York and been filed in the office of town clerk where they are available for public inspection. Whereas said capital project has been determined to be a type 2 action pursuant to regulations of New York State Department of Environmental Conservation promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, the implementation which, as proposed, it has been determined will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact. And whereas it is proposed that the cost of the aforesaid improvement shall be borne by the land's benefit, thereby by assessing, levying, and collecting from the several lots and parcels of land within said Water Improvement Area 8, being outside of any villages, which the town board shall determine and specify to be especially benefited by the improvements, in an amount sufficient to pay debt service, including principal and interest, on any obligations issued pursuant to the provision of local finance law, finance the cost of the aforesaid improvements. And whereas the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie duly adopted an order August 21st, 2019, calling a public hearing upon said plan, report, and map, and the question of providing a water improvement to be known as Water Improvement Area 8, such public hearing to be held on the 4th day of September 2019, 7 p.m. prevailing time at Town Hall, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, in said town, at which time and place all persons interested in the subject thereof could be heard concerning the same. And whereas notice of said public hearing was duly posted and published as required by law. And whereas said public hearing was duly held at the place and at the time aforesaid, and all persons interested in the subject thereof were heard concerning the same. Whereas it is now desired to authorize the improvement to be known as Water Improvement Area 8, now therefore be resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, New York, as follows. It is hereby determined that it is in the public interest to establish said Water Improvement Area 8 and to make the water improvement hereinafter described. Such Water Improvement Area 8 is hereby established and authorized at the maximum estimated cost of $2,233,950. The proposed area hereby determined to be benefited by said Water Improvement Area 8 is as set forth in Appendix A, annexed hereto, and hereby made a part of hereof. Section 2, the proposed improvement shall consist of the town's share of the cost of replacing of the existing ultraviolet disinfection unit to joint water treatment plant, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, as well as other incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith, at the maximum estimated cost of $2,233,950. The method of financing of said cost shall be the issuance of serial bonds of said town to mature in annual installments over a period not exceeding 40 years. Such bonds shall be payable from assessments levied upon and collected from several lots and parcels of land deemed benefited from said improvement and located in said benefited area, being outside of any villages. So much upon and from each it shall be in just proportion to the amount of the benefit which the improvement shall confer upon the same. But if not paid from such sources, although taxable real property in said town shall be subject to the levy of ad valorem taxes without limitation as to the rate or amount sufficient to pay the principal and said interest on said bonds, as the same shall become due and payable. Section 3. It is hereby determined that the estimated expenses of the aforesaid improvement does not exceed 1% of the full valuation of the taxable real property in the area of said town outside any villages, and therefore, in accordance with the provisions of subsection 13 of section 209Q, the town law, the permission of the state comptroller shall not be required for such improvement. Section 4. Pursuant to subdivision 6D of section 209Q of the town law, the town clerk is hereby directed in order to cause a certified copy of this resolution to be duly recorded in the office of the clerk of the county of Dutchess, New York, within 10 days hereof, which when so recorded shall be presumptive evidence of the regularity of the proceedings and action taken by the town board in relation to the aforesaid improvements. Section 5. It is hereby further determined that all the costs of the aforesaid improvement shall be borne by the property within Water Improvement Area 8, constituting all the area of said town outside of any villages, and therefore this resolution shall be subject to permissive referendum. Section C. The resolution is adopted subject to permissive referendum. The town clerk is hereby directed that a notice of adoption, substantially in the form attached hereto as Exhibit A, and hereby made a part hereof, shall be published in the official newspaper and posted on the official signboard within 10 days of the date hereof. The question of adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly put to the vote, which results were as follows. Felicia.
Jeff, how would you like to?
Excuse me, before you vote on this, this resolution recites that this is a type 2 action, one not requiring seeker. I would suggest that before this be voted on, that there be an oral motion separate and before the vote on the bond authorization, which could be number 5A. And that motion would be, I move that the Water Improvement Area 8 work at agenda item number 6, which involves the replacement of disinfection equipment, is a type 2 seeker action requiring no environmental review. So I want to have the separate seeker motion before we do the bond adoption. So if somebody wants to move that.
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then
So that's separated the work itself from the bond?
it separates the seeker.
Oh, right, okay.
We want to clear it for seeker before we
Right.
go to the
Gotcha.
substance of the bond.
Okay.
Now to vote on the resolution as amended. Jeff?
Aye.
Bill?
Yes.
Jessica's absent. Mike?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
And Jay?
Aye. Motion
And
passes,
that would be a separate resolution.
not as amended.
Rather than, and then you go back to vote, I suggest, on number 6, which was moved by Jay.
Oh, that's a separate resolution? I thought it was like
One that
section
Jay-
5A. according-
Okay, the one that Jay read is number 6.
Yeah, that's what we just voted on just now.
Right, but I interrupted you before you voted on it
Sure.
and suggested we do 5A, which is the seeker, and that's now been voted on. So
Right.
I think now what you do is go back and vote, and, Felicia was going to call the roll on the
Good.
vote for number 6.
Which I just did.
Do you need a roll call on the seeker? No, because we voted on the seeker one.
Yeah.
Right, seeker's done.
We voted on
Now
that.
you're back to the one that you,
We just,
that
We
you,
just did a roll on that one.
pardon me?
We just did the roll on that
All
one.
in that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
we did a
Bill
vote.
made a motion and Jeff seconded 5A.
Yeah,
That's 5A for seeker.
Right.
Now you vote on number 6.
Which is
Which
what
we did.
We just.
We just did.
let's just,
Voted on an oral motion. Bill made an oral motion.
yeah, we voted on that, and then we went on to the next one.
And then I said resolution as amended, but I guess
Yeah, it's not as amended.
not really a resolution as amended, it's a,
Let's,
Okay,
let's
so
just,
you did call the roll on
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Thank you,
yeah,
sorry.
Yep,
that's okay.
Great.
I thought that it was gonna, because these are section numbers, I thought it was gonna be section 5A, that's why I said resolution as amended.
Yeah.
That- I was confused that it was gonna be actually a separate resolution.
and the drama builds.
okay, we're good.
Okay.
Jeff,
Be resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Leah?
Alitalia.
Italia, okay, sorry about that. Anderson to the position of permanent full-time police assistant with the town of Poughkeepsie Police Department at grade 6, step 1 salary of $22.0160 per hour, which is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law, effective September 23rd, 2019. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second, any question on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0.
Resolution number 8, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept, with regret, the resignation of Jeffrey Neville from the town of Poughkeepsie Highway Department effective September 3rd, 2019. So moved.
Second.
The motion second, any questions on this one?
Wish Jeffrey well.
I agree, wish him well in his retirement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie, does hereby acknowledge receipt of request on behalf of Residence Inn by Marriott LLC, 2525 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, for a waiver of the 30-day review period for a liquor license application. And be it further resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie, does hereby approve the town clerk's forwarding of a waiver and consent pursuant to the attached request. So moved.
Second.
The motion second, any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0. Matt, you gonna do number 9?
Yeah, that was 10, I'll do 9. Be it resolved, that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board acting as seeker lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork can be found in the town clerk's office for the project known as Stewart's Shop, 2245 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. Tax grid number 6159-01-249880. So moved.
Second.
The motion second, any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application submitted by Cider Mill Friends of Open Space and Historic Preservation, Inc. to hold the 7th annual Old Fashioned Cider Tasting Event at the historic Kimlin Cider Mill, Cedar Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York, on Saturday, October 5th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And whereas the presence of food vendor is a vital part of a successful event, now therefore be resolved the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does not include the vendors of food participating in the old-fashioned cider tasting as peddlers and hawkers, and these vendors are thereby exempt from the provisions of Chapter 151 of the Town Code, and be further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said event to be held on Saturday, October 15th, 2019, between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., and hereby waives all permit fees relating to the old-fashioned cider tasting event pursuant to a request received by Lisa Weiss, President, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And one exempt,
Okay,
Okay.
motion passes
abstaining,
5
and
and 1 abstention.
one abstention.
Okay, motion passes 5-1. Whereas an order of remedy of which is attached here too has been issued for property located at 8 Irving Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159A, mowing of occupied properties of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code. Whereas said order of remedy has not been complied with, now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby set the second day of October 2019, 7 p.m., Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor cut the grass at the above property to a height not to exceed 12 inches and so maintain it throughout the growing season so it will not become overgrown and unsightly. The cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
Good motion second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, there's in the letter we received from Mary Jackson, she says this property has been cut and no longer needs to go to public hearing. That's at the bottom half, number 1.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
8 Irving, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Make a motion, we pull this one.
So moved.
second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
No, I think Jay's next, but I think the other one also was pulled too. right?
We skipped 10.
No, it was done.
No, 9 and
No,
10
no,
happened in.
They swapped around.
Oh, okay.
We did both of those.
Okay, and the bottom says that this one also at 6:15, which you're gonna read next also.
But it says no, that the part of the
Part of
property
it's
still has
tall
tall grass at the
Yep,
back,
yep.
so we want to continue on with this one.
As an order of remedy, a copy which is attached here too has been issued for property located at 615 Van Wagner Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159A, mowing of occupied properties of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code. Where said order of remedy has not been complied with, now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby set the second day of October 2019, 7 p.m., Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractors cut the grass at the above property to a height not to exceed 12 inches and so maintain it throughout the growing season so it will not become overgrown and unsightly. The cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
Good motion second. Any question on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the Building Department of the Town of Poughkeepsie has pursuant to Town Code 71-5 submitted an unsafe building investigation report dated June 25th, 2019 to the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie regarding 172 North Grand Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, tax grid number 6162-16-831313, the premise. The owner of record being Bankers Trust Company of California, NA or CANA, showing among other things that the premise and the rear accessory garage on it are dangerous and unsafe to the general public, open at the doorways and windows, infested with insects, accessible and a haven for vagrants, trespassers, crime suspects, and illegal activity, and that they are unsanitary and present a health, fire, and public health hazard. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive a verbatim reading of attached investigation report and does hereby adopt said report and directs that they be spread across the record as if they, in fact, had been read verbatim. And be it further resolved that a public hearing on the order of and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held before the town board on September 18th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
The motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution 15, whereas the Building Department of the Town of Poughkeepsie has, pursuant to Town Code Section 71, Sub 5, submitted an unsafe building investigation report dated June 26, 2019, to the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie regarding 18 Dorland Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, tax grid number 6262-03-371003. The premise, the owner of record being Richard Rosner, showing among other things that the premise and the building on it are dangerous, unsafe to the general public, open at the doorways and windows, infested with insects, accessible to and a haven for vagrants, trespassers, crime suspects, and illegal activity, and that they are unsanitary and present a health, fire, and public health hazard. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive a verbatim reading of the attached investigation report and does adopt said report and directs that they be spread across the record as if they in fact had been read verbatim. Be it further resolved that a public hearing on the order and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held before the Town Board on September 18th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
The motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Number 16, whereas the Building Department of the Town of Poughkeepsie has, pursuant to Town Code 71-5, submitted an unsafe building investigative report dated July 23, 2019 to the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie regarding 245 Wilbur Boulevard, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, tax grid number 616001295538. The premises, the owner of record being Stanley and Bernice Millspaw, showing among other things that the premises and the building on it are dangerous and unsafe to the general public, open at the doorways and windows, infested with insects, accessible to and a haven for vagrants, trespassers, crime suspects, and illegal activity, and that they are unsanitary and present a health, fire, and public health hazard. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive a verbatim reading of the attached investigation report, and does hereby adopt said report and directs that it be spread across the record as if they in fact have been read verbatim, and be it further resolved that a public hearing on the order and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held before the Town Board on September 18, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
The motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution 17. Whereas the Building Department of the Town of Poughkeepsie has, pursuant to Town Code Chapter 71-5, submitted an unsafe building investigation report dated July 1, 2019 to the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie regarding 45 Park Place, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, tax grid number 6161-11-644504, the premises. The owner of record being Janet A. Bell, deceased, and Matthew McGinn, Esquire, as trustee of the estate, showing among other things that the premises and the building on it are dangerous and unsafe to the general public, open at the doorways and windows, infested with insects, accessible to and a haven for vagrants, trespassers, crime suspects, and illegal activity, and that they are unsanitary and present a health, fire, and public health hazard. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive verbatim reading of attached investigation report, and does hereby adopt said report and directs that they be spread across the record as if they in fact had been read verbatim. And be it further resolved that a public hearing on the order and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held on before the Town Board on September 18th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Park Place.
Is it Park Avenue? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and although I've not received any complaints from the neighbors on it, yeah, they've got a serious hole in the roof. And once the roof goes, the whole thing starts going, so.
Yeah,
So should we make a motion to change the address to 45 Park Avenue.
It's correct on all of the documents in the back.
Yeah,
It's Park Avenue though, because it's on all the unsafe reports, it's Avenue.
Why doesn't somebody just do a motion to amend place to Avenue? And
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Because Park Place is half.
Motion passes 6-0.
Be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the town clerk to advertise for bids for sanitary sewer pipe CIPP spot repairs 2019-2 pursuant to plans and specifications prepared, which plans and specifications are available on September 9th, 2019 at the office of the town clerk, and the bid opening will be held on September 25th, 2019 at 11 a.m. And be further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby reserve the right to accept or reject all bids in part, in whole, or part, and be further resolved, the Town Board does hereby determine that this action is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Any questions on this? This is the last piece to finish up our DEC consent order besides Hagentown Pump Station, which we're just waiting for the grant money on. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby waive all permit fees relating to the Holy Trinity Church request to hold a fall festival at 775 Main Street, Poughkeepsie, New York, from Thursday, September 26th to Sunday, September 29th, with times noted on said application, a copy of which is attached. Be it further resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby approved the application of the Holy Trinity Church to hold a fall festival at 775 Main Street from September 26th through September 29th, contingent upon the receipt of by the town of the certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are to be served, with all other state laws remaining in full force and effect. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And number 20 is just a claim referred in the legal. And we come to the end of our agenda, I think. I can make a motion to suspend the rules for any town-related business at all.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody like to discuss anything at all? If not, make a motion to resume the rules.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to adjourn.
Yay.
All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a great night.